The group's next epic was Monty Python's Life of Brian.
Now you listen here. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. Now go away. Who are you? I'm his mother, that's who.
Quite genuinely, I don't know how you would be funny about Jesus' life. Well, there would be no point in it. What is absurd is not the teachings of the founders of religion, it's what the followers subsequently make of it. Mm. And I was always astonished that people didn't get that. A lot of people did. Yeah. A lot of people got it, but there were always some people who didn't.
Here's Eric Idle.
We may have done casting at the end, because I think John always wanted to play Brian. Mm. And that was a surprise to me, because John was clearly going to be Reg. I mean, he's just magnificent as Reg. And he wouldn't have been as good as Brian. And Graham is such a great straight man in that film. I mean, he's so good, and he's cleaned up. He's not an alcoholic anymore. And that's what happened. I think he'd started to stop drinking then.
Sort of brought the best out of Graham, I think. You know, he was wonderfully he could contribute again, you know. And
Michael Palin.
There wasn't this kind of anxiousness, this anxious age it always was to Graham's behaviour, which seemed just a restlessness, but I think it was just because he was thinking, how am I going to get my next drink? I'm talking to 5 guys here who don't know what it's like to go without a drink for an hour. Mm. So all that, the slight sort of tension there was off, and it must have been much easier for Graham.
When the initial backer for Life of Brian bailed out due to the controversial nature of the film's content, it was Python fan and former Beatle George Harrison who came to the rescue. Here's Eric Idle.
John Goldstone and I went round America looking for money. Mm. We went off to New York and we met all these people, and they say, oh, I can't deal with this. It was just too difficult and scared a lot of people. Although they'd take your meeting and you'd pitch away, but they loved Python, but this was a kind of a dangerous area. And all the time I was talking to George on the phone, and he would say, don't worry, I'll give you the money. And I said, yeah, right. Because I didn't think anybody'd have 4 million quid. Mm. But then he was true to his word. He absolutely paid for the whole thing. He mortgaged his house and raised the money, and it was absolutely true to his word. It was extraordinary.
And whilst they were spending that money on location in Tunisia, old friends and early influences suddenly arrived.
Well, Spike turned up. It was hilarious. Spike was just on holiday in our hotel. He was really in a bad mood. He was very bad-tempered. It was the first time he was revisiting Tunisia. He said, I fought for this country, and I saved it from the Germans, and now I want to give it back. He was having such a bad time, so we did persuade him to be in a scene. And he was in the scene about the shoe, you know. And, of course, we said, well, it'll just be a day, Spike. He's on holiday. Come on, be in the scene. And he said, oh, all right. And then, of course, you know, filming. It was lunchtime, and he was very pissed off. And there were supposed to be close-ups, and he didn't stay. He just went off at lunchtime. And on the way back, he was stopped by the cops on the way back. We went past him, being the Tunisian police giving him a hard time. And then I think the bus stopped, and one of our guys got out dressed as a centurion, said, it's okay, he's with us. You know, he's in Roman costume. And
crucifixion, good. Out of the door, line on the left, 1 cross each. Next. Crucifixion?
No, freedom.
Hmm?
What? Freedom for me. They said I hadn't done anything, so I could go free and live on an island somewhere.
Oh, well, that's jolly good. Well, off you go then.
Nah, man, you put in your leg. It's crucifixion, really.
Oh, I see. Very good, very good. Well, out of the door.
Yeah, another way, out the door, 1 cross each, line on the left.
Line on the left, yes, thank you.
And being crucified for 3 days was quite interesting spiritually. You know, you're up there. You get there in the morning, and there's a cross with your name on it, Mr. Idle. So we were 3 days on there, you know, and you think, well, this is what it would be like to be crucified, you know. A bit more pain, but still it gets kind of, you know, no, I'm saying it was really painful, but it was cold and it was unpleasant, and we were up there a long time. And there were only 3 ladders if you wanted to piss. Typical. Yeah. No, I'm desperate. The end, I remember once we were down at Terry Jones's and we had no idea for an end. And I said, well, you got to end with a song. You know, we're going off. The film was stuck. Everybody was going off to be crucified. And I said, we clearly got to finish with a song. And then we just had the idea that, well, it would be hilarious to have a song number on the cross. And I said, well, it would have to be a very cheery song, you know, to be. And I always had in my head that it should be a whistle song, like a Disney song with a bit of whistling. And then we got kind of excited by that. And I went straight home and I wrote it. I just went, you know, and I picked up the guitar and I just sort of wrote it very, very quickly. Yeah. I picked my kid up from school and played it to him. And I took it in the next day. And we went, yeah, that's it. And even Jonesy eventually said that was it.
Well, why did he hold out?
Well, because I think he always wants to write his own song,
right.
Terry, because he's got a very good musical brain too, but he doesn't do a lot of it.
Yeah. And it's had a hell of a life, that song, really, hasn't it?
It's been lucky for us, really, yeah. I mean, that song, I mean, when I recorded it, and I did a very straight voice on it. Always look on the bright side of life, you know, like, because it's written as a sort of dreadful lounge song, really, is what it is. And they played it on the set in Tunisia, and everybody liked it, and they were all applauded. But I thought there's something wrong with it. I don't know what it is. And then I realized that it was the voice, the vocal. And I thought that what it should be was Mr. Cheeky sort of singing it. It needed that sort of Cockney, you know, voice. Mm. And so we got the sound guy from the movie, and he took his Nagra, you know, and then one side's the track, and we went into a hotel room in Tunisia, and we put mattresses up against the wall, and I took a bottle of Buka, this sort of thing, and we had a quick swig, and just did it live in a hotel room in Tunisia. Cheer up, mate, you know, some things in life are bad. That's all sung in a hotel room in Tunisia, put on. And it just brought it to life, because I was in that character, I was playing that character. Yeah. And it just sells the song, you know, it just, because then you got it now. Yeah, cheer up, no problem, we're going to die. All that ad-libbing at the end, you know. It just brought the thing to life, and that was good. So now everybody sings it. I mean, I've had Art Garfunkel sing it, you know,
I know,
Jack Nicholson sings it, yeah. It's a classic, isn't it, you know, yeah. It's a standard.
And I was very proud of the movie. I thought it was much the best we ever did. As you said, more mature, more grown up, making jokes about things that really mattered.